Hey, folks, welcome to the podcast. I'm Erik with the Galloway Group, and today I have the privilege of interviewing my friend Sergio Prieto with Queen's Capital. Sergio?
Hello, everyone. Yep, Sergio Prieto from Queens Capital Mortgage. Just a quick background on myself. Born and raised New Yorker. Born and raised in Queens, New York. Lived there till about 1999 and joined the military. Went around the world doing all that for about 22 years. And currently the founder and CEO of Queens Capital Mortgage, which is a DBA, doing business as Northwest Funding Group. They are the sponsor company that helps with our mortgage products and our compliance and all that good stuff. And we've been in business. Queens Capital has been in business since 2023 of March. So
Okay,
yeah,
2023 of March. And well,
yes,
I'm just going to ask a question because it immediately came to my head. Were you doing mortgages before that?
I was. The story about the mortgages is this is how the mortgage story goes, and it's kind of long. So COVID.
Well, hold on.
We'll hold
Hold
on a
on.
second.
Hold on.
But I was somewhere else before Queens
Oh,
Capital.
okay,
Yes.
so we're going to get there.
Yeah.
But I got some other questions before we move there.
Yeah. Sure.
So, Sergio and I met. We were doing, I forgot how we got connected.
NAREP.
NAREP, yes.
With NAREP, was it the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals
Yes, when that was still trying to establish here
in Colorado Springs?
in
Back
Colorado
that was
Springs.
2022.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see Sergio over there. He's got a suit on, and I go and we introduce, and short guys, we flock together a little bit.
This is true.
And so when I found out he was from New York, I was like, oh, okay, I'm interested. Like I want to hear about this guy. But one of the questions that I had, Sergio, because I've had the privilege of being able to travel with you, spend some time with you, is your leadership. You're a leader through
Thank
and
you.
through. I know you did that in the military, but that's one of the things that really impressed me when we started to get to know each other, is the way that you feel about leadership, how you hold that as a great responsibility, and I got a chance to hear where it developed.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask you about that. Now you tell me about that because you shared with me some stories about when you were a kid
Yes.
and how that came about.
Yeah. I say this a lot. Um, when I joined the military, I did not know. I didn't know what would happen later, and then I revert back to my childhood, and this is kind of what you're asking.
Yeah.
It's my father, man. My father, when I was from very very little, he was. Our family's kind of big. In that family of Prietos and all that, he was the leader,
Hmm.
of the family. Like everybody
Hmm.
turned to him for whatever issues we have as a family, guidance. Um, my father was the leader of the family. Now, as a child, I'm not understanding that.
Sure.
I'm not figuring that out, right? So when I joined the military again, I'm still relatively young. I'm 19 years old at the time, still a kid. Although before that, I worked with my father at JFK Airport, and at where he was working, he was like the supervisor in charge there, and I, was just one of the employees at the company we were working at, and there I also saw leadership from him. Still not understanding what that was
Yeah.
at the time, but I saw leadership from him. Another thing, everybody there gravitated towards my father. He was the leader of that crew, whatever we were doing, right? So joined the military. 2005, I gained the rank of sergeant, and now in the military, when you gain the rank of sergeant, they title you, hey, you're a leader now,
Mm.
right? And as my leadership skills developed in the military, I started to hear my father when I talked,
Mm.
and the results that I would see from the soldiers that were under me at the time would also remind me of how my father was with the employees at the job that we were at. So that that just fishtailed to becoming doing mortgages and then creating my own thing, being a leader. So from '05 to 2021, I was a leader in the military. Got used to that,
Okay.
right? So that was 16 years
Yeah.
of being a leader. Quote in quotations, right? And having people work under you in that sense, and guiding some of those lives,
Mm-hmm.
with their either their professional career, sometimes their personal stuff, with family stuff, and that, like I said, it just that development, I think propelled me to where I am. There's no think. It propelled me to where I am today.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the things that you just mentioned, right? When you first met me, you saw you can hear, I guess, the leadership. You can hear that, this guy is someone that I guess you could say people would follow,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just based on some of the things that I say, and that's something that I do recognize. I do recognize that that is a thing. But when I think about that, I go back to my father. He showed me the way, and then the army, I guess, just made me understand it a little bit more. When I actually had people that depended on my guidance, depended on my leadership, and then I don't want to get it into like going overseas and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All those things come into play. So yeah, my father's where it all started from. I gave him all the credit for that.
Now, I got a follow up question that I want you to answer a little later, but I'm going to say it so that I don't forget.
Gotcha.
Um, we'll talk about, because I'd love to hear the difference between leading in the military and leading in the civilian world, right? Where people don't got to listen to you.
Right.
Well, I want to hear more about that in a second. But take me back now to, because I'm fascinated.
Okay.
Okay. I'm fascinated by New York. I'm
Yes.
fascinated by what it's like to grow up in a place where there is 7 million people around you. Um, and talk to me about that. Like, what kind of kid were you? If you don't know this about Sergio, he's a sneakerhead. Were you always like? Did you always have these interests? Like, what? Tell me about that as a
Yeah.
kid.
Um. Okay. So I mean, my childhood. I think for the most part, I was fairly privileged. I think my dad worked very hard to make sure that we were all taken care of. I never felt that I never felt like I was at a need or like I wanted. I felt like I was fine. I personally, although the neighborhood that we grew up in, well, maybe not have been the best neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
right? We did have that, but I think like I never went hungry. I was fine. I think my dad worked very, very hard to provide for us. So, um, you know, inner city neighborhood. Hang around with the kids in the neighborhood, mainly Latinos.
Mm-hmm.
In our immediate neighborhood, was mainly Latinos, but it's a melting pot. Everybody, all kinds of backgrounds
Yeah.
were there in my neighborhood. So going to school, fairly decent. I would say student, although I did drop out of high school and get my GED. Something
Okay.
I kind of regret now, looking back. I wish I did not do that. However, so I was a fairly good student, elementary school. I remember one year, I don't know what was going on with me this one year. One year in elementary, I just said, I'm not doing any homework.
In elementary.
Like fifth grade.
Okay.
I'm not doing homework, man. I don't know why, man. I'm not sure exactly what the issue was there. However, in New York City, they have these citywide tests, right?
Okay.
They have these tests that are citywide, and they what's the word? It goes off of other people in your grade, right? You're. It's not like do you pass the exam? It's how well are you in your grade in the city.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this year I didn't do any homework or whatever. Just not a great. That was a bad year. That was just a bad year. I don't know what was wrong. I was not good in class. Didn't do the homework. I was a clown. I don't know what happened
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
year. Well, anyway, the tests come and I score in like the top 10% in the city that year, right? That to me was a little bit of a light bulb education wise when that happened. Um, the teacher at the time was, I remember her making a big deal about that because I just didn't do homework. I wasn't really doing stuff in class, but I crushed
But
that
yeah. You
citywide
nailed it.
test. Yeah, crushed it, right? And I remember that being a big deal. And she wasn't necessarily thrilled about it either. She was like, what the hell's going on? How's this guy?
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't know how that happened either. But I guess that's because I got like a whole thing. I got like a big certificate because I was you look in the city
Yeah.
of fifth graders, there's millions. I was in the top 10% that year in math and reading.
Okay.
So
I'm glad you were there in math because you do important stuff with numbers right now.
that's right. I'm good with numbers.
That little bit of encouragement kind of
Yeah.
gave you the like, oh, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I
I was
got
like,
this.
oh, snap. That's pretty good.
Okay.
And then, so sixth grade on, Was very, very pretty good student. Made sure everything was straight. However, summer '95, kind of started to smoke weed,
Yeah.
started to drink too. My parents didn't know about this.
Yeah.
Not then, they know
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they didn't know about this. Just I don't know. I just wanted to hang out with my friends, and that's what they were doing.
Sure.
And I was just like, I want to fit in. I like these guys.
Yeah.
So summer '95, started to go down a bit of not a great path. And then '96, now I'm in 10th grade. I'm in 10th grade, and I'm in the school, not with my friends. That was an issue for me. My friends were in a totally different school. So in New York City, I'm not sure if it's still like this, but they have you have elementary that goes from K to 6,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have junior high. I'm not sure if it's still that way, but it was then 7th, 8th, and 9th grade.
Oh, okay. Up to
Okay.
ninth. All
Yes,
right. All right.
7th, 8th, and 9th grade. So I did that in junior high, and then I went to high school, 10th grade. This is '96, and so those friends that I made were in that junior high, which was not necessarily like right where I lived. It was a little bit outside of my neighborhood. Like I had
Okay.
to take a train like 5 stops to get there. But when I finished that junior high time and I was going to high school, the board of ed or whatever, I got stuck in that zone where the high school near my house.
Okay.
But my friends were somewhere else. They were close to where my junior high was. So that was a problem for me. I didn't want to be in that school, although it's
Sure.
right by me.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be there. And what I remember is I tried to change schools and it wasn't working out. Like it wasn't happening. So I just said, I'm not going anymore.
And that's when you dropped out.
That's correct. Well, I just stopped going.
Okay.
This is 90. This is 90 fall of '95,
Okay.
going into '96.
Okay.
So summer '95, fall
So
'95,
was that? Is that like 10th grade year?
10th grade.
Okay.
Yep, 10th grade for me. And so I think it was like November of '95.
Okay.
So it was only in New York. You start in September. So I only did that for like 2 months.
Okay.
I was out of there. I was like, I'm not coming. I wasn't happy. I didn't like being there, and I wanted to hang out with my friends. So I just stopped going to school, man. My dad at the time, a couple years prior, he was living with me, but then a couple years prior, he remarried and started another family. He wasn't necessarily living with us, but he wasn't that far away. But I mean, at that time, my dad, he tried. He's
Yeah.
like, you need to go to school. You need to go to school. And I was just like, I'm not doing this. I'm not. I just made a command decision, as we say.
Okay.
I'm not going.
Okay.
All right. So '96 goes by. Don't even go to school. Summer '96. Couple of my friends, same ones, right? Same kind of thing. They're kind of like not going to school anymore, right? We all it was like 3 of us. We were like, we're not doing this. We're not going to school. Summer '96, we were like, yo, man, we can't do this. We gotta do something. So I thought about just going back to school, but I didn't want to start 10th grade over again.
Yeah. No.
I didn't want to do that. So we found this program. I don't even know if they still do this, but we found this program at Queensboro Community College in Bayside, Queens, that they help you get your GED and they give you a job. And I'm 16 now. So we worked in the mailroom at Queensboro Community College, and they prep you for the GED.
Okay.
So that's how that went. And if I don't remember paying anything. I think it was free.
Okay. Even better.
Yeah, you just worked for it.
Yeah.
You had to do some work. And they paid us. Like, we got paid too. It wasn't like a lot of money, but we got paid. So we got paid to work in the mailroom, and they helped us with a GED, and I didn't pay anything for that. I got paid.
Yeah.
Right? It sounded like a great idea. So we went and did that. So that was September of '96. I started that. And then December '96, I took the GED exam. Now, I'm still 16. I took the exam February of '97,
Okay.
a week prior to my 17th birthday. GED is in the mail. So I got my GED diploma at 16.
Huh.
Now, that's awesome. If you want to say I graduated early, I kind of,
Sure. Yeah.
cheated that. At the time, I was ecstatic. I thought that was the best thing in the world, right?
Yeah.
I was ecstatic. Anyway, got my GED, because I always was pretty good academically. I was good at exams,
Yeah.
right? I went and just crushed that GED one time, No problem. Now they did prepare you. Like the program does prepare you. They don't let you just take the exam. You got to do some things. You got to pass some exams, and then they'll let you take the exam. I mean, I passed it. Then I turned 17, and then I started working at JFK Airport with my dad. That's exactly how that happened.
Okay.
Now looking back, I wish I didn't do that. I feel like I missed out on stuff.
Like missed out on high school
High school,
experiences?
yeah,
Okay.
I do. I feel like I missed out on like high school, like just that part of growing up. I immediately missed that because I was fooling around and then went right to work.
Yeah.
I was even okay. So and then I was still smoking weed and stuff. Got the GED. A week later, I was 17. About a month later, maybe 2 months later, I started working with my dad. No more smoking weed. Never smoked weed again after that.
Damn.
And it wasn't that I was just like, I want to work with my dad. I'm just busy.
Yeah.
And I was just doing other stuff. That wasn't really part of my lifestyle like that. After that,
Yeah.
I just wasn't really with that anymore. But that is my academic story, pretty much. Like I got my GED at 16. People are like, damn, you graduated at 16. I mean, yeah, it was a GED. I mean, like I said, I'm not saying it was easy, but I wish I didn't do that. I wish I went to a high school prom.
Yeah. Yes.
I wish I had a real high school graduation. I didn't have one. I wish I had that.
Yeah.
I missed that. Like, so when I talk to my girls know this, my daughters, right?
Yeah.
And my girls are great. They're crushing school, right? They're great. But I do talk to them about this. I've talked to them many times about this. Like, I wish I can go back and not have done that. Although it worked out great, I hate that I did that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't even get to play like I wanted to play sports like in high school, like
Yeah.
really be on a team. Didn't get to do that because I was fooling around, and then so I missed those things. Being on high school sports teams, going to the prom, having a real high school graduation. I wish I had those things.
Yeah. It's crazy what you look back on and tell your kids now, like, I know you think this is done. My son's the same way.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with high school. I'm like, I mean, you're missing it. But you tell them you're gonna miss this at some point in life. But we think we know everything at
That's
that time.
right.
So, okay, so now you GED or at JFK working with dad. You're 17.
I started working there at 17. I stayed there till I was 19.
Okay, so from 17 to 19, you're doing this job, and all of a sudden you're looking around, and how the heck did you get from there to United States Army?
Okay, so I got my GED, and then I think I was 18. At 18, I was like, I want to do some college. So I started doing college and working at the airport full time, both of them.
Okay.
This was my day. This is how my day was when I was doing that. And this was like 4 days a week that I was doing this. Get up at 6, at work at 8, out at 4, in class at 5:30, out of class at 10,
Do it again.
do it again. And then I had a girlfriend at the time that ended up being the mother of my children at the time. So I'm trying to squeeze in time with her. And I'm not, after a while, I was exhausted. And then at 18, at that time, I wasn't prepared for all that, like mentally.
Sure.
I wasn't prepared for all that work. So I was doing that. And then, like, I remember one time I had that day. And then me and the mother of my children, her name is Fatima. I say, hey, we would have to plan around my schedule to like see each other. She lived in Brooklyn. I lived in Queens. I had a car. It's all good. I drive, all that good stuff. But we would have to plan around my schedule at that time. And not only am I exhausted, I want to see her, and she's also working. She got her own thing going on too, right? So one day I had that day, get up at 6, work at 8, out at 4, class at 5:30. I say, hey, she's like, hey, I get off at midnight, I think she said. I get off at midnight. And my school and where I was living, walking distance, like 5-minute, 10-minute walk. So I'm like, I'm going to go home and get me a quick nap. Your boy didn't wake up. I'm getting calls. I'm getting a call at like a little after midnight. It's her. She's like, hey, you still coming to pick me up? I'm like, I'm not going to make it. That day, I was like, yeah. After that, because I was embarrassed, I was like, yeah, man, that was bad. I felt bad because she's like waiting on me and I want to see her, but I was just exhausted.
Yeah.
After that, I remember like the next day or two, I went to work and I started talking to my friends about this. I'm like, yeah, man, this happened, man. I feel like I messed up, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm 18. I'm like, yo, what do I do to make it up to her? I don't know anything,
Yeah.
right? So this guy goes, "Hey, my brother is a army recruiter," and I'm like, "Okay," and he's like, "They pay for your college, they do stuff. Maybe you should just." It was just like that. Maybe you should talk to him. And I was like, I mean, at first I was like, no, I don't want. I don't want to do that. But then I was like, you know what? Yeah, I don't mind talking to somebody. Let's hear what he has to say. I met with him not that long after. I met with the recruiter, and to be honest, once he started just telling, I don't feel like I know a lot of people, a lot of soldiers say my recruiter lied to me. I didn't feel that way at all. I just felt like what he told me about make it or what's to come, the training and all that stuff. It just intrigued me.
Mm.
I feel like I had to be one of his easiest recruits. I do. He didn't have to twist my arm too much. He was just like, "Yo, we're gonna take care of you. We're gonna pay for your college as long as you meet these requirements. You're gonna do this. You're gonna get in shape. You're gonna do this." He goes, "I've been doing this at the time. I think he was already in 12 years, and he was trying to explain to me. He was Puerto Rican like myself, so there was some relation that was relatable to this guy. And for me, he kept it 100% to me. He was like, "Look, just take the exam. Just take the exam. See how you do." And like we talked about just now,
Yeah, you do well.
I crushed those things.
Yeah.
So I crushed that damn thing. And once I did that, and he told me you could do whatever you want, I was just like, where do I sign? It was quick. It happened fast. That was August of '99. August of '99 was the meeting and the exam. And then September 29 of '99, I was gone. I went to basic training. It was fast.
1 month.
Yes, it was super fast. So, and that's really how that happened. It was just, I don't know. I'm a big believer in signs too. Like when
Okay.
something
Yeah,
happens,
yeah.
I see that as a sign of something.
Okay.
And I think I had that issue where I fell asleep, didn't meet my girlfriend to take her to spend some time with her, whatever. And then it led me to cry to my friends like, damn, man, I messed up. I need to do something to make it up to my girl. And then that guy said, you need to talk to my brother. He's a recruiter. And it was quick.
Yeah.
He did not have to twist my arm too much. Once I took the exam and passed it, or did well, smooth sailing. And I was gone in a month.
Okay, so you coming off a season trying to make it all work, long days.
Yeah.
What's your mentality going in now at 19?
Yeah.
At 19, you're about to enter the army. Like, what's your mentality there as a 19-year-old? If you can remember that, you got a girl back at home, your whole life's about to change. Like,
Yeah.
what are you thinking?
Yeah, great question. I will say this. I had mentioned a little earlier about it was three of us that were working at that mailroom, doing that and getting our GEDs. Well, two of those guys were already in the military.
Okay.
They went a year ahead of me.
Okay, gotcha.
So when they came back from training, they were already talking to me about it. Like they were already telling me, hey, this is what we did. This is what we're doing. This is what it is. So I already kind of had a little bit of an idea. So that probably also made it easier to talk to the recruiter because my friends already had told me. So my mentality at the time, so the decision to actually move forward and take the exam wasn't just me. My girl was also part of it.
Okay.
We talked about it. She was trying to join too. She that was something she thought she might want to do as well.
Oh.
If I remember correctly, she just didn't do as good on the exam to get a job that she wanted. And at the time, her English wasn't fantastic. It's great now, but at that time, it wasn't great. So I think she has some issues with that. So that kind of her wanting to join also forced me to. That was also a motivating factor, saying we're going to do this together. Before I actually left, I didn't want to leave. At that time, we were dating probably almost 2 years. I proposed before I left. Before I went to basic, I proposed to her in front of both families. We made a big thing about it. So proposed, and we knew we were going to set our lives together. And then, honestly, going in, I didn't really think too hard about it.
You just jumped.
Yeah, I didn't. And the thing about it is, when you're going through the process to join, you're with other people. Like you're with people that are doing the same thing you're doing.
Yeah.
It was probably 20 something of us went out with the people that I went through or went with. So we're all talking. We're all scared. We're all nervous. We don't know what's coming,
Yeah.
and you build relationships pretty quick. To be honest, we build relationships real fast. So we I went through Philadelphia MEPS. It went from New York City to Philadelphia. I'm not exactly sure why that happened, but it doesn't matter. So in Philadelphia, I go through what's called MEPS, which is the entry processing station. So we go, and there's, like I said, there's a group of 20 of us, and we're just all like, where are you from? What's your name? Da da da. And then we're on a bus for a couple hours. We're talking more. Then we're on a plane, and we go to training, and then so through that time you build some cohesion and some camaraderie with the people that you're going through the same struggle.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on. We're all exhausted. The whole thing. So I really didn't think about it. I just started talking to people. I just
And just went with
just
the flow.
bonding. Yeah, bonding. Yeah, that's I didn't think much of it at all. I mean, we knew that everybody knows you're gonna go to basic training, especially in '99. You're gonna get yelled at.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So yeah, I mean, that was it. Just go with the flow, follow the instructions, and just keep it going.
Okay, so up to this point, had you been out of New York before?
No,
Okay,
first
so
time on an airplane.
first time on an airplane and you're going down to basic.
Yep, in Georgia, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Okay.
Yes,
All right, now skip ahead for me.
yes.
How many places have you been now?
Like, you talking about just military or
Let's go military.
military only?
Yeah.
Okay, so Fort Benning, Georgia was basic training. Fort Lee, Virginia was our AIT, which is kind of where you learn your profession, your specialty. Then got stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. I was there for a few years. That was my first duty station in the 82nd Airborne Division, jumping out of airplanes, doing all that good stuff at 19, 20 years old. I was there for a few years, and then I got stationed back to Fort Lee, Virginia. And at Fort Lee, Virginia, while I was stationed there, now we're talking '02 to '05. The Iraq War started in '03. So we deployed to that. We were there for that. So I was in Iraq from March of '03 to November of '03. I was there for that. Came back to Fort Lee, stayed there to '05, Korea.
Okay.
Stay in Korea for a year. Come back to Hunter Army Airfield, Georgia. This is in Savannah, Georgia. I was there for a year, and then 40 minutes away is a base called Fort Stewart, Georgia. I got transferred from Hunter Army Airfield to Fort Stewart, Georgia in '07. I stayed there from '07 to 12, and I did 2 trips to Iraq there.
Oh, you were there for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And a lot of people did a lot of years at one place during that time because there was a lot of rotations. But I did 2 Iraq rotations there. They were actually going back right before I left. They were going to Afghanistan. That unit was going to Afghanistan right before I left, and I left to go back to Korea. Stayed in Korea for another year. So now we're in like 2013. I get stationed at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. I only stayed there like 6 months. Had a family issue that then brought me to Colorado. That brought me to Colorado in 2014.
Okay.
So the military has this thing, or the Army does at least, this compassionate reassignment. So we had a family situation. Long story short, one of my family members needs to see a certain specialist. That place didn't provide that service. So I stayed there 6 months. Then they brought me here so that person was cared for properly. So that's really, the Army will do that for you if that's the situation. So that got me here in 2014, and that was a pivotal point too, coming here. At that moment in time, I wanted to get out of the Army.
And you're how many years in?
15.
Okay.
Right? Meant I was done. I didn't want to do this anymore at that time. I didn't like my time in Missouri at all. And the time in Korea prior to that was not great. So I'm in Korea, no family, by the way. I'm without my family. My wife at the time and 3 kids, they're in Georgia.
Okay.
They're in Georgia still, where I bought my first house. And then, so I'm not with them for a year, and then I go to Missouri, and I'm not with them. They can't come. The services that the family member needs are not there, so they stay in Georgia. So that's a year and a half, no family, and I wasn't really happy with like my military career either. I wasn't enjoying at the time. I didn't really like it. There a couple of things personal, like personal things that were really plaguing me. I think being away from the family was part of it, but. There's a couple other things there too professionally that I was dealing with at that time. So I was really thinking about getting out at the time.
A year away from them, then how long again stateside away from them?
6 months, probably a little longer than that.
So
Maybe
a year
maybe.
and a half away from wife and the kids.
Yeah, man.
So mentally, you're already thinking about getting out of the military, but what keeps you going being so far? Because I can't. That's something that's foreign to me. I can't imagine being away from my kids that long.
Okay, so at that moment in time, if you remember the timeline, I already deployed 3 times to Iraq.
Mm,
Okay, so I think those trips help with your question.
mm,
Those trips, yes, you miss your family, but when those trips, you for me, you kind of block it out a little bit. You do miss your family, but when you're in Iraq, you got to worry about the person to your left and your right. You got to
mm.
worry about the person next to you, and that it might sound a little messed up. That's the priority. That's what it
Sure.
was for me at that time.
Yeah.
I miss the family, but I got to make sure this is good, and
Yeah.
especially those times that I went that I was a leader of soldiers. Oh, absolutely, I got to make sure that this is taken care of because this is the situation we're in right now. In order for me to get back to my family, I got to make sure I'm on point with what I'm
Yeah.
doing here.
Yeah.
So I think when your question about being away, that helps because those trips were year-long
Mm,
trips. So it's still difficult. It really is. So when I was making the move to Korea, that second trip to Korea, the one that you're talking about, that year and a half that I was gone for a year, then I went to Missouri and they didn't come. We were separated for another 6 months. That one was difficult. That one was probably the hardest time we were separated. And those trips to Korea, it's not like combat.
right.
It's not Iraq or
Right.
Afghanistan. That one was probably the most difficult one for the marriage at that time. Um, she wanted to come to Korea, but I didn't. I don't want to get too deep into this. I didn't want to stay in Korea more than a year. If I bring the family, I got to stay longer. So I had so of the few battles that I won in the marriage, that was one that I won. I put my foot down. I was like, I don't want to stay longer than a year. Korea's cool. I just didn't want to stay longer than a year. That's
Sure.
it.
Sure.
That's all. But that might have been a mistake in hindsight
Mm,
because that really put a strain on the marriage. And then I didn't see them again for another 6 months. And now, we're all here in Colorado, and I don't want to be in the military at the time. Like I was kind of done. I was just done with it. Okay, so as far as like the mindset is, we were already as a family a little used to it.
okay. Right.
We were already a little used to it, and then I guess the thought was that this is the lifestyle. She would definitely say like you're always gone. I'm like, and my answer is that's the job.
Yeah.
That's the job that I chose, that we chose in '99. Remember, so like that's the job, and I still cared about my career even though I wanted to get out. I still did care like what my career was going to be like.
Yeah.
So, that was important to me. And not just that, the soldiers with me. Honestly, the soldiers probably more than my own career. I think about them more than I think about my own career.
Yeah.
And that's something that the Army does. They do teach you that. Like that's something, one of the values, selfless service is the value, right? You don't think about you.
Yeah.
You think about the people next to you.
So this question might be super hard to answer because when I get asked questions that are similar to this, they're hard. They're hard to answer.
Yeah.
Right. So you just made mention, hey, hindsight, maybe not the best decision.
Yeah.
So if you're ever talking to somebody that's now in that similar position, would you give different advice than the path you chose to take? Like what?
That's a great question. I don't know. Probably would. I probably would. I probably would. If I could go back, I probably would have changed that. I probably would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
It's not a hard yes, but it's close.
Yeah, they're hard to answer
Yeah,
for sure.
I probably would. Because one of the regrets that I have is that I didn't. We didn't travel more. Like I didn't bring my family.
Sure.
Like that. Like I kind of regret that they didn't travel overseas with
Mm,
me. If I could go back, I probably would have changed that because
yeah.
they would have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to stay in Korea at the time. I did not want to stay there more than a year. When you bring your family, you have to do a minimum of 2, and at that time they were giving out bonuses to stay for a third year, and I would have took that bonus to stay
Mm,
3 years. So I just didn't. At the time, I didn't want to do
yeah.
that. So, but that put a strain on the marriage, which kind of preludes into what happened. We got divorced later.
Yeah.
So, which sucked. It was a terrible. I hated it that it happened, but that is what happened. But I think that was the beginning. When I look back now that I'm a little older or a little wiser, I look back to that like that might have been the start of because when we came here, it was not great. We had all this time separated. Now we're back together.
Yeah.
So I didn't think about this then, but I know now. When you have a spouse who's used to, we have the, we're together, and then I'm gone for so long. Now she's used to kind of being a single parent,
Yeah.
and now we're back together again. I don't think it's an easy transition to make.
Oh, you
I don't
got
think it's
no.
that simple,
She
right?
has rhythms. She has patterns. She's
Now
doing her own thing.
here I am messing
Yeah.
it all up, right?
Yeah.
I didn't think about that then.
Sure.
Now, looking back, I know, or at least I think that was
Yeah.
part of it. So now I did come here, and I got to a unit that was brand new. Like when we got there, there was no equipment there. Now, normally when you move from unit to unit, you kind of like fall in line to what's been going on there, what their setup was. This, uh, this move, what we call a PCS move. This PCS move, it was like I get to decide how we're gonna build this.
Okay.
Totally different experience, and if that was great, I would rather do that every time. And that brought me back. I didn't want to get out.
Sure. Okay. So that's year 15.
Yes, this is 2014.
Okay. And that's what kept you in for.
Yeah, I stayed until 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, so that unit, honestly, that unit is probably the one that is emotionally is the one that's attached to me the most. Is that one?
Okay.
That one, more leader. Like I think my leadership grew there too a lot. But the group of people that was with us, like again, the unit is brand new. Like when I got there, there weren't that many soldiers to lead. They started to come because we're building the unit. It takes time. We had no equipment, so it's kind of like having a baby, like creating an organization. Is really what we did,
Mm.
and I have more emotional attachment to that unit because of that and the people that was with us.
Yeah.
A buddy we know, Clayton,
Okay.
he was
That unit.
he was there. So and that we knew each other prior to that, but there we really got close.
Okay.
That it happened there on while we were at that unit, and that's here in Colorado Springs.
Was John there too?
John Simmons.
Yeah.
John Simmons was later, but
Okay.
he wasn't in that unit. But
Okay.
he was obviously here in Fort Carson. So I stayed at that unit as aviation unit. It was great. I stayed there till 2017, and then I got moved to 10 Special Forces Group here in Fort Carson, and that's where John was.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's where John was, and then me and John hit it off too. Like good buddy, great buddy of mine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then I finished my career at 10 Special Force Group, and that was from 2017 to 2021. So I was there just shy of 4 years.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my military career in a nutshell.
So 2021 that completes 20.
It was to be exact. It was 21 years, 8 months, and 2 days.
Okay. 21 years.
8 months and 2 days. Yeah.
Yeah. From 19 years old to
Yeah, I was.
whatever the hell you are.
I
at
was
that age.
41 at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Different life.
Yeah, completely different. I mean, coming from, Long Island City, Queens, like I said, that neighborhood that wasn't maybe the greatest neighborhood, coming from that, and then, again, the signs were there. They guided me. It just happened that I joined the military, right? That was, we made the decision to do that. And then very early in my military career, I knew I was going to stay for 20 years.
Okay.
I knew. I knew pretty quick. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the physical aspect. I liked it. The job was good. I wouldn't say that necessarily the pay was great all the time, but I enjoyed it, and I like being around other people that kind of feel the same, kind of
Yeah.
think the same, and all that. So, yeah,
So you mentioned signs, kind of, I call them seasons that lead up
Yep.
from one thing to the next, right? And so it makes more sense now. You come out, you spend a couple years learning mortgages, then you step out and relatively young in your career,
yes,
you form your own
yes,
Queen's Capital.
yes,
And so to you, is it the same thing? You mentioned you love this new unit because you were building. There's nothing before it. You get to put it together. You
That's
get
right.
to make it what it is. Do you feel like that's similar to what is happening now in Queen's Capital?
absolutely. Now, so when I retired from the military, and well, let me back up a little bit. While I was in transition, I made of retirement. I made the decision that I wanted to I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. All right, so now we're talking. It's kind of COVID summer, so June 2020.
Okay. Yep.
I get my orders in hand. You're retiring in a year, 12 months. So June 2021 is my official retirement date. So June 2020, I get orders, and it's kind of COVID, so we're kind of not at work or whatever. So we're kind of at home at the time, and I August 2020, my oldest daughter, Rosemary, goes to Penn State for college.
Okay.
So we take her to Penn State. We fly there, drop her off. We all cry.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
On the flight back, I'm like, what am I gonna do? Am I, I can't just stay home. Like I gotta, we got some time. I'm in my mind. I got about a year. I got like 10 months. What do I want to do? Do I want to just sit at home all the time? That's not really something I wanted to do. I knew
Right.
that then. I was like,
Right.
we're not just sitting home. We got to do something. So I had a conversation with Clayton in the same month, August of 2020. Clayton, who knew me very well, we were pretty close at the time. He tells me you'd be good at doing mortgages. Clayton was already doing mortgages.
Hmm.
He was doing it for 2 years. Long story short, he's doing fantastic in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So I asked him, give me your typical day. What's your day like? And based on that conversation, the next day I signed up for the classes. I was like, I signed up for classes. And like I said, he gave me some confidence. He
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
he knows me very, very, very well. He said, you would be good at this. And I was like, okay. And I did a little research. I did, I Googled some things. I Googled like how to become a mortgage broker. What are the daily duties of a mortgage broker? I did some research there. But I did my little research. The next day I signed up for classes. Started the classes at the end of August 2020, October 2020, passed the exam. I'm licensed.
Okay.
All right. Now at this moment in time, I'm still active duty. I'm still in the military, active duty. Now, being in transition plus kind of COVID, I wasn't really going to work. So I'm like, this is a golden opportunity for me to start something new while I'm still active duty, and financially I'm fine.
Yeah. You getting
I
paid.
don't have
So.
to. So a lot of people in this business, they don't have that luxury,
Right.
and I am very grateful that I was able to do that. Even soldiers that are retiring, they don't always get that opportunity. I think because of the way the position that the world was in at the time.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, my replacement already showed up. Like my replacement at the unit already had showed up, so the unit didn't really need me that much. So I got some downtime. That led me to start mortgages. So I got my license October 2020. I called my buddy Clayton again. Um, he's like, hey, come to Hawaii. I'll teach you. I couldn't make that trip, but he then connected me to a gentleman that became my mentor. His name is Jason Scott.
Gotcha.
So he connected me with Jason Scott, also a veteran. And Jason Scott at the time worked for Guaranteed Rate. And I met Jason the following month, November 2020, and we had a great conversation. He took me to dinner. It was great. And December 2020, I started working at Guaranteed Rate, brand new. Now, at that moment in time, the market for mortgages and housing was insane.
Crazy.
Another sign for your boy. I'm like, as soon as I started, there was clients everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Jason also helped me with clients too.
Yeah.
He was so busy, he had to be like, hey, you got to take somebody. He needed to help him. I also was able to learn under that tutelage. Him allowing me to work on his clients' loan applications taught me.
Yeah.
Right? It taught me a lot, especially the front end stuff, meaning the intake of the application, the intake of all the documents, how to calculate the income properly. That really set me up. There's no joke. There's no Queens Capital without this, because I learned how to vet clients and their documents to make sure that they're fully pre-approved before we're looking for houses. I learned that under Jason Scott and his team. So I'm there. And I'm, like I said, I'm active duty. Now I got clients all over the place. And I think what happened was, so that's December 2020, and I fully retired in June of 2021. So that like 6 months right there, 7 months. In my opinion, there was clients and I'm working with realtors. I think that was like, it helped me build a little reputation here in Colorado Springs this is somebody you might want to work with. These, whatever it is, either the way I talk to people, the way I'm all about the education part of the mortgage process. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I think that's what happened. Plus the deals were getting done, right? Yeah. Deals are closing. And I think that built a reputation for myself. So now I'm doing this. going back to your question about leadership, I'm
Yep.
getting there. I know it's kind of long, but the I'm working under Jason, and it's cool, and we're working, and it's all good. And then end of 2022, Jason makes the decision that he was going to move to another company, and at that moment in time, I just it was really just gut feeling. I did not. I was just like, man, I don't know about this move. It was just an internal thing. I never said anything to anybody about that. I was just like, I don't know. And I kind of wanted to do something else. So, I wanted to go and be on the broker side. So, the broker side of mortgages, which is a little different than where I was. So, long story short, to get to building Queens Capital, I it took me some time, So, what happened was I once I knew that I wasn't going to make the move to the company that Jason was
Hmm.
going to, I started to do interviews in town just to
Sure.
see another company that I might want to work with.
Yeah.
Well, during those interviews, I started to hear, have you ever thought about starting your own thing? Now, at this moment in time, I only been doing this 2 years. So my initial reaction was like, absolutely not. This is madness.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing, right?
Right.
But I kept hearing it. And I'm hearing it from people that don't know me at all. Like they're meeting me for the first time, but I kept hearing it. I would say it was about probably 6 interviews I heard that. Have you ever thought about starting your own thing? After hearing it so much, I was like, well, how hard could it be? I looked and I did my research for that. Not hard at all. It wasn't hard to do. It was a little
Not
scary.
hard at all.
It was a little scary, and it took
Yeah.
some time, licensing and stuff like that. But it didn't. It wasn't really something that I felt like I was worried about. So,
Yeah.
um, so when it comes to the leadership, I create Queens Capital, and I'm by myself. No problem. It was an immediate success for me. My business didn't slow down. Some people, when they transition, they slow down.
Yeah.
I did not. It actually picked up in 2023 when the market was tough. So I'm getting questions about possibly hiring people, and at first I was like, I don't think so. I don't know if this is going to be a good thing. But after a while, people, I kept getting calls, and then, long story short, I started bringing people on, and now I'm a leader again.
Yep.
And I did not know that I missed that.
Yeah.
I did not know that I was going to need that. I needed. I think I needed that, and I missed it. I missed being a leader. I loved doing that in the military,
Yeah.
and this bringing people on and being the leader of something that I created, right? It brings me a lot of joy, and seeing them succeed,
Mhm.
which they all have,
Yeah.
right? I started by myself. We're a team of 5 now, and everybody on the team has excelled in their field. Some more than others, but they've all excelled.
Yeah.
So seeing that definitely brings me a lot of joy, and it's not, like I said, it was something I didn't know I needed, and or something that I missed, but I did, and now that's kind of where we are when it
Yeah.
comes to that. The leadership stuff, that's kind of what happened. And as far as like the civilian side, I kind of still lead like I do in the army. Of course, I'm not knife handing anybody,
Yeah. Yeah.
or doing anything like that, but I do kind of still lead the same.
Sure.
It's the same. It's kind of the same. I try my best to be the best leader I can, and a lot of it is dialogue with the people that are working under you. Right?
Yeah.
It's dialogue, and it's two-way. It's not a one-way thing.
So let me, because our time's wrapping up.
Yep.
Let me say, because I just want to say something
Yep.
for folks that are listening to this, real quick. Last year's numbers look like what?
Are we talking team or personal?
Just team
The So last year we closed 160 transactions for 71 million.
for 71, and that was the best year you've had
Yes.
to date.
Yes. Every
It-
year has actually been the
Okay.
best year.
And 25, if you're in this industry, 25 was not friendly to a lot of people
Right.
in our industry. Now, the reason why wanted you to share those numbers is
Yes.
I get the chance to see firsthand and behind the scenes. Sergio is a true friend. We watch sports together. We hang out. So I get to hear what's going on from time to time on the business side of things. And what I wanted to say is there's a reason you guys continue to grow. And that reason is your genuine care for people.
Yeah.
You talk about that dialogue. You'll hear it more as he and I rap more about different topics. We don't always agree
No.
on topics political and anything else. But what I love is the ability that you have to hear people, to hear their perspective, whether it changes yours or not. You still have the ability to hear, take into account, and help guide that person into something better for themselves.
Yes.
So I just want to tell you that I appreciate that about you. Your team is bearing out the reality of that truth, and so if mortgage people are listening to this, are you hiring more people?
Yeah, I mean, so that's a great question. So, yeah, the answer is yes. There is like a vibe check, though. I'm not just hiring
It's good.
anyone. And I'm yeah, I feel like I'm a little anal about that part. Um, I do. I feel like I'm a little anal about it, and I think I need to loosen that up just a little bit. But yes, 2026, I want to grow. I want to grow a little bit more. I have been like people have come to me like, "Hey, are you hiring?" And in the last year and a half, and I kind of like no, I just
Yeah,
staying at the 5, 6. We went up to 7 at one point. I kind of just stayed there. I guess I don't know if it was a desire to just not manage as many people, but I was just a little like just I was just hesitant to
sure,
hire more. But this year, I think, and also I think it's based on last year's success. To be honest,
sure.
based on last year's success, this year my focus is growth and collaboration. Collaboration with my team and their mortgage businesses because everybody on my team has their own business. I let them run their own thing. Um, Collaboration with them, making sure that they're making the right decisions for their own business or any guidance that they need, and I'll just give them my perspective on stuff like that. In collaboration with real estate agents, insurance agents, also. But yes, I would like to expand the team, which we are. Um, we're looking. We have someone that's starting his training next week. So,
Oh, dang.
so we're
Okay.
we're adding one right now, and I am
Okay.
looking for more. But again, there's like the vibe check is like I got to talk to you.
Sure.
I gotta feel like you're the right fit for our team.
Yeah. Well, listen, I want to thank you because you make me better.
Appreciate
Um,
that.
if anybody's looking to get in touch with you, how do you do that?
Yeah, if you're looking to get in touch with me, again, you can follow us on Facebook, Queens Capital Mortgage Facebook page. We'll put the link in this link to that in this video. Also, Sergio Prieto Facebook page as well, and my number and stuff will be on this video as well. So, again, Queens Capital Mortgage. You can go to our website qcmtg.com. You can check us out. You can check out the team. Yeah, and I love our Facebook page. I think our Facebook page really depicts who we are. You see all the closings. We share all our successes
You,
and all the
you,
fun that we have.
you saying that because Uriah's in here?
Yeah,
Is that what you said?
yeah. But no, yeah. So you'll see our Facebook page has. This is what I do. I'm not even kidding. I send the like prospective clients. I send them the Facebook
Do
page.
you?
Yeah. I'm like, hey, look. I text them the Facebook page. I'm like, hey, just take a look at it. You gotta at least know who we are, because you
Yeah.
talk to a new client, you just on the phone,
Yeah.
you're just a voice. I'm like, hey, you get to see who we are. Take a look at, scroll through,
Sure.
and again, very very grateful for the success. Did not know it was gonna be like this, but very grateful. I don't think it's an accident. I think that
No.
the way it's been set up on our model, it works. It works here, and then, we're in multiple states. We're not just in Colorado. We're all over. So anybody listening to this, if you have any questions about any mortgage related questions or home buying, we're happy to answer them. There's no obligation. It's all about education.
There it is.